Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Lighthouse Studios. My name's Shane. I'm the event and studio producer for Lighthouse. We are proud to be partners in the Startup Grind franchise. Our mission is to be the world's #1 masterclass and podcasting studio. And we're really, really happy to have you all here. It's amazing to see so much powerful women energy in the room. And I would like to just hand over my friend to Pram. We have a lot of things downstairs, studios. If you want to know anything about studio producing, just let us know. Okay?
Thank you so much, Shane, as always. Yeah. Thank you and welcome to Startup Grind, everybody. I would like to also say hi to everybody tuning in live through our global network on YouTube. I also like to say hi to people in Thailand, Africa, and the UK. They're co-hosting this event kindly, so everybody, hi, and welcome everybody here in Bali to the Startup Grind, and this month where we are celebrating female entrepreneurship and powerful women leaders. And out of curiosity, how many people here, by show of hands, have been to Startup Grind before? Okay, and the first time Startup Grind? Wow. So it's about 50-50, but it's always good to have new people on board, and just want to give you a warm welcome. Just going to give you a quick intro. My name is Pram Sangeet. I've been joined Startup Grind way back in the day when it was still scaling, and now it's the world's largest community of entrepreneurs. We are in 700 cities, over 200 countries. We have over 5 million people like yourself who basically came to the event, who we supported over the course of 14 years now. We started with very important values that what I believe help us grow this community, and I believe also creates genuine connections during the networking and in our community. And those are to help others than yourself, to give first, then take, and to make friends, not contacts. So when you do network later with the tea and then other people, please have that in mind, and I'll promise you, you'll feel something, some shifts when you approach people that way. Okay, just to figure this out. Yeah, if you want to follow us, you can join our WhatsApp group here in Bali just by scanning this QR code. And if you want to subscribe to our newsletter, you can do that too. We run monthly events in all these countries, especially in Bali, and we have many partners. And what's important to say about Women's Month is that we have 100 events happening this month throughout 200 countries, basically. And we all celebrate female entrepreneurs, and it's really amazing to have one of the best inspiring female leaders here with us tonight. So make sure to check the SG Woman hashtag online. Yeah, and of course, thank you to our really vibrant community of partners. It's so supportive to be in this ecosystem in Indonesia, and you'll definitely hear tonight from these beautiful goddesses that have their own communities and how they managed to build this. And for tonight we have amazing agenda. We're gonna start the panel now, and you'll be able to ask any questions later on. We're gonna have then startup pitches, and what we do in each country, we always support local startups. So what is important for us is that we showcase these beautiful entrepreneurs, and we support them no matter how. If they need clients, if they need investments, we just make these connections. So when you hear them out, give them a warm welcome, and talk to them later, because who knows, maybe universe has a reason why you're all here tonight. Yeah, and we're gonna do the networking with a tea later, and that's supported by a ChatTea, which Gil is a part of, and it's really fantastic platform that brings the tea culture into the life and also into the business and into our connections, where we are able to connect with people on a deeper level when we calm ourselves down with the tea, and then create from that space, which is really beautiful. And what else? Yeah, and then we go home and we meet again next month. Yeah. Okay.
Do not go home at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Gil.
Home at 9, I'm sorry, it's just not going to work out. If you stay until 10, that's when the magic will happen.
Yeah. So it brings me a really great honor and joy to introduce the panel for tonight with these beautiful goddesses and then queens, which you are. Yeah. We have Dr. Anastasia Belikova. Hi. You can have the mic and then just share it with you, which is a founder of Modern Woman Bali, a beautiful magazine and community here. And I believe you're going to be doing some special issue of your next magazine in August. You're going to feature some of these things tonight, maybe, hopefully.
Oh, interesting. First time
It's
I
a
hear
good
about that. Yeah, good pitch. Well done.
Now you're on air. You got to do
That's how you
it.
do it. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. So thank you so much for coming. We have Susie Clark. Thank you so much for coming. Susie's founder of Female Leadership Collective, which runs beautiful coaching sessions, one-to-one retreats, and a lot of great things. I had a great pleasure of connecting back in a day when one of the companies came to me in our London office in Startup Grind, and this guy told me, he's like, oh, look, I have this prototype. It's called MoonPay. It's going to revolutionize how we buy cryptocurrencies and how we connect to Web3. And 5 years later, I held the event in London with a good friend of mine, one of the fastest scaling growth investor in Europe. They just invested 75 million into MoonPay. And, you know, a few years later, I've seen them massively expanded into Asia. And guess who was responsible for the expansion? Ta-da! Susie. So it's really good to reconnect and to see you here doing again amazing work. So thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone.
And then we have the legend of the I would say the queen of Web3 in Indonesia, if I may, be that. Well, yeah. Does it work?
Hello. Thank you for inviting me. This is a very warm welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm actually from Turkey, Istanbul. There's this Indonesian queen theme going on, and I'm trying to honor the title.
You definitely are. Melissa is so modest. She runs Satoshi 21, which is amazing big community in the blockchain world. She also is founder of many other things and that relates to sustainable, conscious entrepreneurship. And she's a founder of a core hub, which is amazing creator space. So really honored to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we have like another queen that I would like to invite to the stage. Victoria, please come on. Virginia. Oh my gosh. Virginia, of course, or Jeannie. Yeah, and I just would like to share that Virginia is a new friend and an amazing influencer, amazing human being. She was the queen of NFT space, if you know what NFTs are. She has been amazing community builder with a human I trust. And it's just like super fun to work with and a very good friend. And she's going to support us in moderating because I usually do this, but because it's a female month, I would like just for women to be on the stage. So thank you so much for being, please give a warm welcome to our panelists.
Hello, goddesses.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for your magic. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything that it's taken in order to be a technologist and a futurist in this time. And so, yeah, I'm really honored to be here. I was kind of asked to moderate this a little bit last minute because, yeah, I honor that intention. I feel like men are always welcome in the space, you know, but it's also a beautiful gesture from the masculine to desire it to be just the feminine up here. So just thank you for that. And yeah, so I'm excited to dive into you three and your magic and everything that it's taken to bring you here and about the projects that you're stewarding in this moment. And yeah, I think it would be great to just start with the juiciness.
So I go.
There we go. That's self-selected. Yes. So please tell me about the juiciness of what you're creating at the moment. Like, what's exciting you the most, and what are maybe also some of the most challenging pieces as well?
Thank you. Okay, juice. Well, Satoshi 21. Satoshi is the creator of Bitcoin, and we are inspired by the creator of decentralized technologies. There are so many reasons for that, and it's a burning flame that I don't speak so much. But the whole idea is basically you can do any financial transaction one-to-one without having any interaction with the government, with an institution, and everything. And I'm coming from a very problematic country, and it's been chaotic a lot. And I think the idea that excites me the most is to build a global community where we don't care that much about the borders, institutions, and we have that freedom of going anywhere, interacting with each other the way we want, and money should be one of that decentralized entity. So everything we are doing is turning around the Satoshis revolution, whoever they are, wherever they are, if it's an entity, if it's a person, if it's a woman or a man. And Core Hub, we created, I guess, last year. And it's designed to be A to Z blockchain and web builder, basically. We have now developers, 2-3 venture studio, accelerator funds, and many the components. And we are trying to basically find the best projects to scale it with the decentralized technologies. And S21, we call it actually usually, Satoshi 21 is one of the largest blockchain founders community. It was one of the earliest, and how I see it is kind of like sometimes you don't match with the people you're sharing the geography, or you're sharing the natural language, and like you may not find that soul tribe right away. And technology offers that way, and impactful technology usually creates that bound. It contributes to the connectivity that we do something one-to-one. And I think the whole idea of Satoshi 21 is to contribute to that, and also help the founders, startups, and all that ecosystem to grow, basically. The juice. I'll wait for the juice. I'm sure it's gonna come, but yeah, because it's I save it for the entrepreneurship and the challenges. Thank you.
You want to hear the juice from me now? Okay, so I just want to follow on from Melissa, actually, and for any of you, I don't know if any of you are in the crypto industry, but Melissa's doing some amazing things. And as someone who formerly worked in that industry, it's not easy to be a woman in the crypto space, let alone being an entrepreneur, founder in the crypto space. So if anyone hasn't been down to Melissa's co-working space, then make sure you head down there. It's a safe space, even if you haven't been into the crypto space before, so just bigging you up.
You can be judged, but
and also just thank you to all of you for coming here on a Thursday night. Is it Thursday today? I don't even know. I lose the plot these days in Bali. Giving us your Thursday night to come here and support each other, and it's amazing that we have events like this. So I would actually I love to know who's in the room. So I would love to know if if you could raise your hand if you're running your own business right now. Ooh, we have a lot of entrepreneurs in the room. And if you could raise your hand if you want to run a business or plan to run a business but you don't at the moment. Okay, amazing. So you've got so many people to learn from over the tea networking, so that's really exciting. Amazing. So the juice on my side, just to give a bit of context, so I have a banking background. I actually left that 4 years ago, sold everything, moved to Bali without a business idea, with some savings, and just tried to make it work. I made a lot of mistakes, I made some failures, that's probably where the juice is actually. But now I run my dream business called Female Leadership Collective, and I'm helping women transition from their corporate careers to launch their own businesses. It's a real roller coaster to launch your own business, especially when you come from a career that conventionally is very impressive and you feel very fortunate to have that background. So I feel like I'm kind of uniquely positioned in that sense to help a lot of women that come from finance, law, accounting to launch their own businesses. So I have coaching programs and retreats and help women through that space. The juice is probably more in some of the client stories or some of the key challenges that people have. I mean, a big challenge that a lot of people have when they come to me is actually this getting through this identity of being an employee and stepping into the entrepreneurial identity. I don't know if some of the people who run businesses are early stage founders, but there's this identity shift that needs to happen where you're so used to being paid a salary on a set day of the month, and you're so used to being in this contract where, yeah, they could fire you, but at least you've got a job, you've got payment for the next month, you've got that level of security. But when you give all that up and you run your own business, it literally feels like you're going to die. I don't know if the founders in the room can sympathize with that, but it literally feels like you're going to die until you get used to, oh, actually, this is normal. I am not going to necessarily predict when I'm going to be making income, and I have to normalize this and get my nervous system kind of safe and comfortable with this. And that does take time. It takes working hard. It takes building up those months of knowing that you're not going to die, right? So that for me is probably the biggest juice juice challenge, I don't know what you want to call it, that I've helped people with and I've found the hardest in my journey. I don't know if that qualifies as juice, but that's my take.
Thank you. Yeah, just to build up on what you said, I literally just read this morning a beautifully put quote. Healing is about getting used to the feeling of fear and feeling that you're about to die. So you always feel fear. It's just, you kind of like get used to it. It's like, yeah, okay, let's go. Take me on the wild ride. So about my wild ride, my juice, I would say that figuring out how to play in this commercial world, how to genuinely maintain community and human connection and empathy, how not to march to the tune of the likes. That's what juices me up. So I run communities for women. Since COVID, we switched mostly to doing our work through the magazine. So we still have some communities. We used to have, I think, 30 events every month. Now we just have women who write community, philosophy community. Anyway, I don't want to pitch my, we'll have 6 pitches today, so you'll have enough of hearing about people's companies. But what we're trying to figure out is how can we give to the women who left home genuine support? How can we not create another place where you basically charge people to look into each other's eyes? Because, yeah, quite frankly, when I first moved to Bali, that's when I came to the spiritual, the ultimate Bali, Ubud spiritual events. And I was charged to sit around the fire and look at each other's eyes. Like, wow, that's okay. Anyway, like, I understand it is what it is. But yeah, can we find, that's what we're trying to figure out, among the, like, businesses want to be visible, businesses want to be spoken about in a good way, but readers, audience want honesty. How do we combine that as a magazine? So we run a magazine right now. As a magazine, how do we give the truth and stay commercially viable? Great question. I don't have the answer yet, but it juices me every day. Literally juices me, blends me, and all those choppy emotions. It's a great discovery. I don't know where we're going to come to. I think decentralized stuff, I don't know how to say these words. Maybe that's what I need to learn, because it seems like there's some truth in there. But yeah, in a few words.
Yours? Oh, wait. Oh, and I'm back. Thanks. Thank you all for sharing the juice. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. A lot of just wisdom and knowledge is woven between the three of you. Really powerful. I'm excited actually to geek out on your individual projects, even though this isn't a pitch. I'm already all in. As we were sharing, like, what was really coming through for me was, like, what does it mean to be a feminine in business, right? And, like, further than just being like a woman in business, but what does feminine business actually look like? Like, what is the future of feminine leadership? Like, how are you noticing, navigating, stewarding your businesses as a woman? And what do you think is, like, the feminine energy that's actually coming through and driving? Like, where does that, and it's not so much like the gender, but the feminine energy of creation. Like, what are you noticing there as a woman in business?
Straight up, cycles. I don't mean moon cycles. I don't mean, don't worry, man, I'm not gonna talk scary things. I mean cycles of creation, right?
I was excited, actually. Someone finally doing it.
Get the pads out. Oh no, we have perfect fit later today, so I think Tunga, you'll do it today. All right, back to the non-scary stuff. Cycles of creation, right? In nature, we have winter, we have, what else we have? We have spring, we have summer, we have autumn. In business world, in masculine world, in capitalistic world, we're stuck in summer. We're stuck on producing, being efficient, going. I mean, it's a bit of a cliche at this point to say, do self-care, don't forget. But my point is cycles. Again, I come back to my first word that jumped in when you asked the question. Like, in building cycles in this system, knowing that I'm going to produce for a while, I'm going to grow for a while, and then I need to retreat. I need to leave. I need not to be in this space for a while. I'm going to take time replying, which pisses off so many people. But it is what it is. Like, we are who we are. I need to do what I need to do. So that's, to me, is a feminine way of doing it. In building cycles into our expectations, not taking project after project, pulling back, releasing, dropping some stuff after success, having winter, death, nothing is happening for a while, just maintaining bare minimum, and then slowly, not this bipolar drops up and down, burnout and quick success, but gentle spring, gentle autumn. That's what works for me the best, and I think that's feminine for me.
Well said. I think for me, from my own personal experience, and this has been a whole journey for me, I think that I used to work for an investment bank called JP Morgan, and it's a very, very masculine dominated space to work in. And through that, I really conditioned myself to learn that to be successful in an organization like that, I needed to suppress a lot of my femininity and feminine qualities because they weren't really seen as being ways to succeed, and they were seen as kind of weaker kind of qualities. And so I came out of that career feeling completely numb, feeling like I couldn't even speak to my body, feeling like I didn't even know who I was, feeling completely miserable and very depressed. And it's ironic because I had one of the most prestigious jobs at one of the most prestigious firms amongst a lot of my peers, but inside I felt miserable, and there was a lot of guilt around that too. And the journey since then has been really, how can I find authenticity as a leader, but more importantly, how can I feel safe leading in an authentic way as a woman, leading with my femininity at the forefront of that, and what does that actually look like? And to your point around cycles, for me, I track my cycle in my business. Right now I'm in the luteal phase. You're probably going to get way more sassier answers on this panel than you would if I was on it in 2 weeks' time. Right? And just acknowledging that is normal and that is okay, and we should honor the 4 different characters that we have throughout the month, and actually, why don't we leverage our strengths instead of trying to fit in? And this is a big part of what I'm trying to convey. Like, I'm trying to help women break out of these careers, because I actually don't believe that these corporate companies are the best environment for them to flourish. Because, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but a lot of these companies the corporate world was created by men. So statistically, there's a bias towards, you know, who's at the top. It's men. So of course you're going to look up and you're going to go, how do I get there? I'm going to emulate his behavior, his language. And I can give you an example. I did an assertiveness training at JP Morgan, and they said to me, Susie, you're very small, so you need to make sure you sit in a room with your arms out wide like this, and you build a bigger presence in the room. And I thought, really? Like, really? Is that going to command more respect? You're going to see me having more respect if I sit like this? And how am I going to feel, right? How am I going to feel? What kind of answers do you think you're going to get? I'm going to feel so self-conscious sitting like this. I'd rather just be myself, right? And so this is kind of, my answer to this is more just, how can women find safety in being themselves and leading in a way that feels really good to them? Because at the end of the day, the objective here should be happiness, should be joy, should be maximizing our experiences on this earth, and not just maximizing, you know, money and wealth. There's a way to do everything, but if we're just maximizing for that metric, then we're at risk of kind of like wasting our lives away, in my opinion. So I just encourage any of you in the room, and also the men have feminine energy too, to just really ask yourself, what I am doing for work, is this because I'm enjoying it, or I'm trying to prove something, I'm trying to fit myself into a box when I'm a square box when I'm a triangle, you know? And if you're a triangle, you can step out of that and create your own triangle and flourish. So hopefully that kind of answers the question, but essentially I think a big part of it is having the courage to go, okay, I don't feel safe in this environment. It wasn't created for me. So what can I create? How can I create a safe environment for myself where I can do really good things, I can feel really good at the end of the day, and I can feel safe in my body because I'm not trying to pretend to be something that I'm not.
Well, I guess agreeing all those points, and it's hard to add something, so I'm just going to nuance it a little bit on my side, and I think that's where the juice is for me. So I've been in situations where I think all my life I worked in environments that are traditionally male dominant. The academia, the corporate world, startups, Web3, finance, and I worked with, all my co-founders were male. And I was trying to, and coming from Turkey, I'm very politically oriented, we are very much politically engaged also. So you always have this idea, you're fighting for being that women to your authentic self and like be a little bit more feminine and everything. You're discovering yourself, and then also trying not to be the opposites. Like we've seen leaders like Margaret Thatcher's. They're like a little bit challenging women leaders, right? Like they're almost men. I don't want to put that out there on as a statement, but we have this idea that to lead, you have to embrace like male characters, and unfortunately, it's true. The juice comes in when you realize when to embrace those traits and when to do it the other way, when to do it in a feminine way. Let's say foundership are like it's feudal lords of the new society. Like you're having this idea and you want to see it succeed. You want it to be a unicorn. You want it to raise capital and do it in a responsible way. And you need to be accountable for that. You cannot bend. You need to do sometimes very cutthroat. And those moments, sometimes you just need to embrace and look at yourself and say like, well, okay, I have my priorities. And you need to also embrace, if you want to be conscious in what you're doing, you also need to be very conscious about your where your lines are, where your morality lies. And that's a very hard thing to do, I think. I recently had a super big like hostile takeover by my co-founder. They kidnapped my community, which is a very funny idea to steal someone's community, but eventually that's where it went, and I had to rebuild it and everything. And I think I was crashed now looking at those days under my own morality, like not to cut a toxic partner from your life, from your business, for the sake of not doing the wrong thing. You harm yourself, your community, your business, the people you like that believe in you. And it's a hard line. You have to be very conscious about. So I was asking this question to myself, like, I need to, after like there comes a moment where you have to react. You have to get your community back or rebuild or leave. Whatever you do, you have to first of all be able to live with yourself all your life. But you also have to make a stance. You have to like fight for your baby, your community, your startup, and that involves like sometimes a knife, sometimes a very hard attitude, and it's a good thing. Like you have to cut an employee that's drying your resources and your mental energy at that moment. You cannot be like super soft or like think that they are like expecting baby and they're having that and everything. It's beautiful if you do, but you have to think about your priorities also. And I think this is the hardest part. Like, where are you going to actually look at yourself and say, like, this is exactly the leader I want to be? And if you can say that at one point, that's amazing, but it's never going to happen also, let's face it. And the other thing is, like, when I think, of course, we are super engaged with our self-image, and working with men all the time, the biggest challenge is your perception. Our brains are wired to expect certain behaviors from a female face, expect a certain traits from a male face. And when anyone hears or like have some attitudes that you don't expect from a woman, there comes a conflict. And I mean, as a person like with a neurodivergent people, and probably most founders are, you don't know what's going on for years. Like, I mean, you actually have your period. You actually want to address it in a different way, and that person is reacting to some red flag, some signal in their brain, and they don't expect that behavior from you. And then you adapt. Most of the times you adapt. And there comes one moment you truly say, like, you know what? I don't care. Like, you care. It's not that you don't care, but you're not going to change it. I'm going to do it anyway. And then I think you become a founder. Then you own it. After the kidnap of my hijack of my community, I create this campaign. It's Own It. Like, cryptocurrencies is all about owning it directly without mediation. And I think it was the time for me to own what I created, who I am. Like, I'm not that, like, whatever the name callings that other people might think, and they're going to say whatever. Like, that's always going to, you cannot change that, because and you're always going to be in a situation where you actually care. You cannot just turn it off. How to be your authentic self by not giving up, like, you cannot, I mean, because we're social animals, how to be that authentic self, stay, like, protect your territories, your idea, fight for it, and still be a nice, decent person. It's, I think, if you want to do it consciously, it's the essence of it, and it's the juice of it, because there comes some times that, like, you need to know where you should adopt, where you should change, where you should, like, make it better, and where you should stop blaming yourself and live with it, because you're gonna make tons of mistakes. And we are, like, women, we generally tend to have more emotions like guilt, statistically speaking, not like any attribute to anyone, but you just need to look at it and say, like, okay, could I have done it differently? Yes. Okay, what is it? This. Okay, then deal with it. Do it next. It's like you cannot lose time. You cannot lose, like, in on that respect, you have to a little bit more higher pace and realistic and rational, because the business is not going to cover your, like, slow decision phase, like going through that grief and everything, and you are eventually going to find your way to find it, but it is a transformation. So at some point it is not only, like, there's no such thing as being a female founder or a male founder, because it's a mix of it, and even among men it's a very rare thing. It's an impetus, like, you have to feel it, like, you have to fight for it, die for it, kill for it. Unfortunately, it's a little bit like that. Then there's the, if you want to have the A+ team, you have to expect the same from those people. The moment you see the pain point, you have to cut it off. And these things are, like, a little bit juicy stuff that is usually, we don't talk about it. All the, like, glory and everything, like, being associated as, like, the CEO and founder, it's good, but there's a lot of dirty job back there. And whoever I talk to, like my 70-year mentors and, like, 40-year whatever, they all go through this all the time. And it's actually, each time I talk with other founders, other CEOs, it's always like that, because you build that bubble and you don't talk about it because you're just in a task crashing mode. And today I was actually thinking, like, am I going to sound horribly pessimistic? And you just live with it, like you said, like, and when I hear both of you, I'm like, okay, like, it's not me. And it happens all the time. Like, you're not the only person who's going through that, like, bleeding all the time. Yeah. And it's bleeding.
Wow, those are some serious mic drops. Thank you, goddesses. One of the things that came through for me that I wanted to double click on when you were sharing, I'm curious for the women in the room, who of you, by raise of hands, have felt that you've taken on or had to take on more masculine qualities when you've been working or in the workforce or working for people? That's fairly common. And I'm curious with the men in the room, who here feels like they've taken on some feminine qualities when they're working sometimes? Yes. Signs that we're in Bali. Thank you all. You're amazing. Wow. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, gentlemen. And I really just have a deep prayer for more men in the world to take on the feminine qualities when you're working. I'm curious, with the men in the room, raise your hand if you consider taking a massage work. 2, 3. Okay, by the late 4. For the ladies, who would consider taking a massage work, like you're in workflow? Yeah, receiving a massage, yeah. Yeah, receiving a massage, sorry. Was I saying, yeah, receiving a massage, sorry. I love it. I love it. I call them $1 million massages when I get a massage, because I get the best downloads. It's my best time to really think and iterate about what I'm creating and to slow down, to speed up, because we're constantly just like, and that's the masculine energy that you're talking about. That's why I love the cycles. I agree with the cycles. There's cycles and seasons for everything. Like, allow it to be. If you go out in nature, you know, there's no fruits growing on the trees for a long time. Like, it's okay. Everything is working in the back end. And so, yeah, just receiving that there's another type of working and creating that is way more efficient, that isn't visible to the outside because you're not hammering or doing anything or running, or you're not rushing, but there's this magical creation of synchronicities that happen through that feminine magical flow. So I think you guys described that quite well, so thank you for that.
I want to add a little
Yes.
metaphor, I guess. It hit me spot on a while ago with the cycles and creation. So I think of a project, I think you mentioned Fight for Your Baby, right? Your business is your baby, so you're creating a baby. And as entrepreneurs, we are stuck in this push, you know, this push all the time. But that's not how making a baby works. First, it's really pleasurable for like a while. I don't know, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like it's great. An hour if you're lucky. If you live in a boot, it's going to last an hour, right? So there's some pleasure at the beginning, right? Then for 9 months, nothing much is happening and a lot is happening. For 9 months, you're like in a cave and you're doing massive work and you push for very like tiny amount of like proportional, right, to the carrying of the baby. So that's kind of what I think about the making of the business. It's 9 months of caring, like 5 minutes of fun, 9 months of caring, and then you push for a really short time. Business should reflect that. There should be pleasure, there should be caving in, and there should be pushing.
That's great. I love that. That's a great analogy.
Can I add something? I think also something that I learned in corporate, and the reason why it didn't work for me was it was very much, you hear this expression, trading your time for money, and that's so linear. And when you think about the flow of energy with the masculine, it's very linear. Whereas when you free yourself from that cycle and you are not trading your time for money, as an entrepreneur, for example, work becomes different. It's like, not every task that you do is worth the same amount. So for example, if I've got a coaching call with like 8 women, this week I had a call with my group and 8 women, and one of them was going through a really tough time in her marriage. There was a lot of emotions on that call. I was exhausted the rest of the day. But compare that with, I don't know, my day tomorrow. Maybe I'll do like a few finance things and things like that, and I could do loads of tasks in that day. And so it's not worth the same amount. Your time is like not the same currency when you're an entrepreneur as it is when you're trading your time for money. And in a way, I see that as emulating the feminine flow a little bit more, because it doesn't work in a linear way. So just being aware of your energy and your capacity, and different tasks and activities require different levels of that, and seasons of, you know, a good sales month versus a slow sales month, and learning how to manage your emotions through that flow of unpredictability as well kind of very much reminds me of the feminine. So in a way, I kind of see entrepreneurship as being much more of a safer place for women to actually lead, in a sense.
Yeah, I love that, Susanna. Thank you. I just want to do a quick time check, how many minutes we still have, just so I can decide where the magic carpet journey is going to take us next. Yes, Ashilia, my darling.
For you to stand up, say your name, and yeah, we're going to try to get you into the camera. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ashilia. I don't have a question, but rather just an inspiration from everything that you've each shared. And just, yeah, hearing, especially, you know, coming from corporate spaces and having that experience of being so deeply ingrained in the masculine way of operating. And I just feel like it's such a deep invitation for man and woman to open ourselves up to that feminine flow, and really just granting ourselves permission. And I feel this is equal for men and women because it's so deeply ingrained into the collective subconscious to just like grind and keep pushing forward. Even for myself, coming from the body worker space, so I really entered into a field of a very feminine field. And even still, when I'm around masculine workforce or I put myself in various different scenarios to evolve myself, I feel that push and I feel that deeply ingrained subconscious mode still operating within me, even though it's not my lifestyle typically. So yeah, just really feeling that for men and women alike, that it's granting ourselves a permission to really allow that restoration period. So thank you for bringing that forward. I appreciate it.
Maybe I can add a quick note on that. So when I first started reading, I studied philosophy and mathematics, and when I started reading about feminism, I thought like, okay, like all these guys like that I read, like men, they're brilliant, and the only thing we came up with is like, is it feminism that we have equal rights? Like, what is it? Like, it's so derogatory. And then I started reading ecofeminists and Marxist feminists, and I was in masters. It was very late, and the idea, actually, they contribute to the whole dialectics, is that when you the patriarchal idea, that mindset, is basically all about putting things in binary terms: man, woman, nature, reason, the art, science, and putting these into hierarchies. Men better than women, or like science is better than art because it's useful. Nature is better than, no, nature is not better than anything. So you can exploit that for like whatever. So this idea is basically because where we are coming from, the feminine, it's like it's very hard, honestly. Like studying the science and coming from corporate world, like when I first came to Bali, it was very hard for me to understand the feminine energy, how to unlock what, and that actually helps me to put in terms where like it's a spectrum. It's not like male, female, and that, and you're always going to be in that cycle of like being a little bit more that, being a little bit, but this is the language. We describe things like with feminine, masculine, and different traits. And first it's the spectrum, and instead of like two different entities in hierarchical relationships. And also it's not a value statement, like being man, women, like queer, whatever. These are not value statement. It doesn't have intrinsically value, or it doesn't have any of it or lack of it. So I think the whole point of like the foundership and everything, like looking at it when you're transforming the because if you're a founder, you have an idea, you want people to endorse a behavior, put their money, put their like effort, time, like your employees, you're selling a vision constantly. You have to be the biggest believer of that idea, first of all, and then you have to, like, you are going to disrupt certain power dynamics. Either you're going to take over the competitor, or you're going to create your little market. And Web3 is all about that, actually, like disrupting that existing power relationships. This is what's happening between West and Asia. Asia, like the whole capital is like now turning into Asia, and the man and female, and like this is actually like what excites me the most, being in web, being in Web3, being in decentralized whatever. And when you find that thing, I think it flows better. Then you are like, better feminine and better masculine, because we all have it. We are eventually you have some tendencies to be a little bit more or the other, and that's why we start choosing the other paths and that career or whatever. And you need to we polish it without like being ashamed because we exhibit certain behaviors that is masculine or feminine. And not like, oh, I'm never going to change. This is me. I'm feminine and or masculine. Like this is my traits. Like, so it's like, I think when you find that purpose, it's a little bit more balanced.
I love it. Thank you.
Anybody else has a question?
Wait, just before we open up to questions, I just would like to hear one more thing from the three of you. So I would love to hear from each of you, what is like the one nugget? You know, like I don't know how long you've each been in business. For me, I've been an entrepreneur for nearly 10 years now, and I often think about if I could have traveled back in time and told Virginia, you know, of 10 years ago, knowing what I know now, you know, like, so for you, it's like the, you know, the business partner and trying to take away your community and all these other things. I've, you know, had my whole share of all of that. So I'm curious in terms of like the tools, or for me, like one of the things is like the wealth dynamics test. Like I wish I could have told myself that 10 years ago would have changed everything, right? So is there like a tip or a technology or something that you found out along the way where you're like, this is the one golden nugget that I would give myself when I started this journey as an entrepreneur, that would just be a huge game changer?
I would say your body always knows the answer, and that's where you can cultivate the safety that you're seeking.
I'm digging out 2 nuggets. Bonus nugget. I'll start with the nasty nugget. The nasty nugget is that, are you sure you're ready for success? Success is expensive, and I don't mean financially expensive. Success is psychologically very expensive. Are you sure you're strong enough for it? That's what I would have asked myself, and that's what I would welcome aspiring to succeed entrepreneurs to ask. Success will bring a lot of attention. Are you ready for that? Success will bring a lot of offers. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to say no? Do you understand what you really, really want? And are you sure that this is what you want? Can you say no? Are you clear on your boundaries? Can you look after yourself? Do you have a support system? Because you will need it. You will really need it. So are you really ready for success? That's probably my nugget number 1. And I forgot my bonus nugget. Okay. No, it came back. Okay, the bonus nugget is that, I mean, it's a bit more of a cliche, I guess. Yeah, I think it's been kind of like advice to death, but I just found it really useful for myself. Like, be clear not only about your strengths, but also about your weaknesses. And your weaknesses are not, it's not something derogatory or bad. Derogatory is not the right word here. Your weaknesses actually is what you will really need to succeed. So rather than turning yourself inside out to be something that you're not, whether you're like an introvert and like you're really pushing yourself to go out there and like socialize in an awkward way, and you're this awkward person like myself, for example, among a room, like it's just not gonna work. So either partner up or hire. Collaborate with somebody whose strength is your weakness. That's one. And then second, actually what you mentioned, like you make your safe space, you make your communities out of your weaknesses. So if you don't fit somewhere, if you see that like, oh, but I'm not like that, it's not like that, I cannot do that, great, there's going to be other people like that. Do stuff for them, because trust me, there are people like that somewhere. That's actually how our community came about, like struggling to network in this high intensive like Canggu networking sessions, or like not connecting with people in Ubud yoga studios. Like everybody's so upbeat and so happy all the time and so silly. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing this voice, but it's just coming. everybody's so upbeat, you know, and like that's how our community came about. Smaller communities, more mellow communities, more quiet. We call our community introvert-friendly community. And that's exactly where it came from, because I was uncomfortable. So your weakness is actually your bonus nugget.
Yeah, I'm so empathetic with all that, like the queen of quirkiness and like all the nerdy stuff, and also finding yourself in Bali and like, I'm not going to chill by the pool with my drink. I cannot do it. I've never done it. Like, yeah, they perfect, but then you have to find that like that exciting environment and where you can actually like be your introvert self, and then go like do your thing when you are like a little bit more out. Like extrovert, and then like go back and just like don't want to see anyone and work on your things. I think to add what you said for the nuggets, especially when you answered those questions, if you're strong enough, if you really want this, are you ready for the consequences and everything, then just do it. Like never doubt yourself. My like biggest mistakes is like, can I do it myself? Like, am I like, I mean, is it good enough, that and this? Like, oh, I need these people, I need the other ones. You don't. If you answer all those questions, yes, then you just do it, own it. And it just gives me goosebumps even today. Like, it's not an easy thing to own it, but like, just be very honest with yourself and just own it and do it, like, no doubt. And the counterpart is like, business is business. Like, I wouldn't have done business with friends. I don't say never, but probably it's going to either, like, you should be ready that you're going to break some there's a potential that you might break some relationships, or the business itself, usually both, and or family. So like, business is business, and you should, like, yes, it's a baby, but it's not a family. Your employees are unfortunately not the family members. It's like, we tend to like build those like familial connections most of the time, and it doesn't work. So so yeah, saying no to also good one. Always work.
You've got the nuggets, you've got the juice. What else would you like to know, beloved audience? This man right here.
Yeah,
That's
exactly what I wanted to ask. Like, Virginia, can you tell us a bit more about your nuggets, what you're working on? Because I know you're so magical and you do so many things, and also moderating this panel so beautifully, and you know, taking the waves of the feminine. So please share more about what you do, what your nuggets are at the moment. I know you're working on something really interesting, so please.
Thank you for this question. I receive. Let's see. I feel like a nugget that I have for you at the moment is pleasure, is really enjoying the process, you know, enjoying like the shit and the dirt and the, you know, the sitting in it and the upset and the stress and like whatever the fuck it is, you know, just receiving pleasure from it somehow, you know, like people, you know, get each other tied up and whip each other in chains and BDSM, etc. They find pleasure from that as well, you know. So when you're sitting in the shit, just think of that.
That's exactly the same, right?
Exactly, it's the same. Yeah, you know, and it's a big thing to say, because it's like, you know, when you're sitting in the shit and when you've just, you know, been scammed out of 8 Bitcoin from your co-founder who you've just been traveling the world with, you know, for the past year, and you just realize that you've been hanging out with a con artist, and, you know, and you call them for 2 years every month being like, hey, are you gonna send me those 8 Bitcoin? Like, where are they? Yeah, I'll send them to you next month. And like for 2 years, and then you're like, wait a second, he's never sending me those Bitcoin, is he? You know, and it's like, like when that happens to you, or you have friends of 11 years that were, you know, the bridesmaid at your fucking wedding that delete everything that you've been working for 2 years and try to take over your community and like delete your entire fucking online university. You know, it's hard to find.
It's often, right? That's the juice.
It's hard to find pleasure sometimes in those situations, but if you can remember every other time that you sat in the shit and you had everything that you've worked for and believed in taken away from you from, you know, friends, like you're saying, but I think you should definitely, like, if I don't love you, I'm not gonna fucking work with you. I'm sorry, get the fuck out of my office. Like, just straight up. Like, I do not work with people that I do not love. Like, if I'm not gonna go to hell and back for you, there's no way. Why am I sending you money? Like, this is like, what's the whole point of this, right? But where I believe in what you are saying of bringing friends in is like, communication is everything. Like, communicate and then over communicate times 5. And when someone says something to you, have them write it down every time and then ask questions. What do you mean when you say that, right? So it's like, okay, well, you're getting 5%. What's the vested thing? Blah, 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 blah. Be very clear. Over communicate. That's another nugget for sure. Just like ultra communication. Yeah, I mean, I work on a lot of projects, honestly. Like, if you want to hear about kind of what I'm working on, like, everything. Like, the answer is everything. I'm a magical genie. I'm like Herod's. If you're looking for an elephant, or if you're looking to buy $2 billion worth of gold, or $50 billion worth of gold, or Bitcoin, or whatever, like, I'm your girl. So my archetype is a genie. I'm a wish-granting genie that grants wishes. That's what I do all day, every day, in every vertical you can possibly imagine. I've done $1 billion annually in sales for Apple. I've been a crypto advisor since 2016, one of the top 27 women to change the world, Inc. magazine, etc. So there's a lot. But yeah, thank you for asking the question, and many more golden nuggets to share. Just find us. We're going to be serving tea with Gil, with this amazing man here, who's an absolute force of nature, who's, you know, currently bringing together an entourage at Eden of war rooms and, you know, drawing on the windows and all sorts of things. Just drinking tea, exactly. Oh, yes, exactly. So we're doing a tea salon tomorrow. Basically, it's like open house. We're going to have co-creation, shibari, tea shilling, all sorts of things. So, well, I mean, the shibari is important. The shibari for me is like here. It's the most relevant thing we're doing tomorrow.
That's all supported by ChatTea, I believe. That they just launched a great partnership, right? Yeah. Yeah. Would you like to share something more about the partnership? Because I know it's super exciting. I just want to get that out.
I would love to ask for consent first. Do I have consent from you all to give a humble shill? By raise of hands. A humble shill. Shill is a crypto term that when you talk about a project, it's called shilling, right? So it's like you're shilling something. It's like selling in a different way. So that's why I'm like, do I have your consent? So this amazing man here, Gil Pedersil, along with an incredible community of like tea masters, this queen right here, sitting right here is one of them. You know, essentially we're building the dopest ecosystem in the world around tea, just like straight up, like tea concierge, you know, Microsoft, Shell, whoever, they're chilling and they have one of our tea masters come in for their meetings, just like upgrading, up-leveling everything. Like a big mission of mine has been to change the culture of alcohol in our society, where we're just like going into these establishments and we're just like wasting thousands of dollars and we're just like killing our entire bodies, you know, and that's how we hang out. And so I think a really cool way to shift that paradigm is to bring in tea and to bring in presence and silence and ceremony and communion and conversation. So that's what ChatTea is doing. And so we've recently got this partnership that's absolutely incredible. As I've said, I've been a blockchain advisor for 8 years now. I've seen a lot of projects, a lot of things. I've worked on a lot of beautiful things. And this is a really excellent team that's come together that are legendary in the meme coin space. And if you understand anything about the meme coin space, you'll know that it's a space to lose a lot of money and it's a space to make a lot of money. And so you ideally want to be on the make mostly a lot of money.
Both.
Exactly, mostly it's both. I like that. You want to be on the make a lot of money kind of side. And Gil is one of the most well-connected people that I know, and he's introduced me to this project that has a literally like superstar award-winning team behind it. And right now, as we're sitting here, they're currently in pre-sale with 50% token bonus, all sorts of things. Like, we're actually connected to the people. You know, this isn't kind of like a random, I got a group message somewhere on Telegram, this is going to be big, you know. It's like we're actually like watching the thing. So this is a really important project, and why I'm personally so passionate about it, because one of my missions is to positively impact every single human in the world. And a way that I do that is by empowering leaders and bringing actually more funds into our community so that everything gets more funded. And so this is, I believe, an opportunity to help the light workers, you know, this whole tribe of people that is actually here to create a regenerative impact with their businesses on the world. And so if ideally we could make, you know, our community make as much money as possible within the next week, that would be great. And so this is one of the, you know, the ways in which we're doing it, as well as combining tea culture. And this is going to be kind of like a seed injection to ChatTea for us as well, to continue building this, as well as utilizing this technology, this meme coin technology, for tea ceremonies and other things. So you're going to hear more about that. If you're curious to hear more about this tea pre-sale and like magical opportunity that we have, raise your hand if you're part of the ChatTea team. Speak to any of us. Like, we've got you. We'll add you to Telegram groups. We'll add you to the event tomorrow, which is going to be amazing. It's free. We have delicious food, and as I said, shibari.
Mandatory.
Exactly. See, this is great. Something to look forward to. You get, essentially, someone is going to get suspended from the ceiling, tied up in ropes, and it's actually a very ceremonial, beautiful expression of trust and surrender.
Thank you so much, Jeannie, for creating. Yeah, I'm sure kids will be okay with that.
There will be tea.
Yeah.
There will be tea.
I just want to say, like, thank you so much, Jeannie, for creating this beautiful vibrance and this conversation and feminine flow. Thank you for all your beauty, your sharing your wisdom, and then setting an example to how to be a female leader. And you're so inspiring, and everything you share. I really appreciate you guys, and I love you. And I just want to invite everybody to give a huge round of applause for our panelists. Come on. You were saying, darling?
Yes, just for my goddesses here, I'd like to just close off our space in this sacred container. Just by each of you just sharing, you know, if we've taken a video, like, how do we tag you on Instagram? You know, how do we send you a message? How do we connect with you in the best way? And just any closing, like, words or statements that you guys feel are alive in the space that you want to share. And then we can continue. But yeah, I just want to close that off the right way. Whoever wants to start.
We can find me at Core Hub. I'm rarely there, but Core Hub is in Botubilig, and that's the headquarter for the accelerator. And you can find us there and talk to someone if you have a project going on, especially on tech, Web 2, Web 3, or green tech. I can help with mostly Web 3, and we have government resources, the 3 accelerator, and you can find me online. It's MELKURT. Telegram, my eDNS, and like everything you can think of. Yeah, that's it.
You can find me on Instagram. It's Female Leadership Collective. I also have a podcast where I share lots of tips on sales, business, femininity, pretty much everything we've been speaking about today. And you'll see all that linked on Instagram. And my last little thing that I would share is just anyone, like my DMs are completely open. If you want to come and introduce yourself or ask me a question that you didn't get to ask today or share anything, if anything resonated, I love to speak to you. So please reach out. Oh, and also I run a monthly Bali dinner club. I've been doing it for 2 years. I basically pick a restaurant in Canggu and we have about 25 people come along. It's open to all genders. So the best place to find information about that is just DM me and I'll send you the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe everybody who came here already saw like digital announcements, so you probably know all the tags. But I just want to share, I do want to welcome female entrepreneurs. We have Women in Business group. Nothing fancy like the bit world, but solopreneurs and small businesses in Bali, we try to help out as much as we can with visibility, collaborations, and a bunch of other stuff.
I'm a member since the beginning.
So how are you? Oh, that's so fantastic. You're very quiet there.
That's what I say.
Yes.
When I'm not, I am quiet.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's really lovely. We don't do much, but there's stuff happening soon. We're partnering up with somebody from Jakarta, so she's going to bring in some amazing magic. She's also from London School of Economics. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Also, we run 4, I believe, weekly free groups for women. Oh, by the way, everything that we do is for free. So that's something that I really want to highlight. We run weekly groups for women who write. In Ubud, Canggu, Uluwatu is kind of dying, and online. So if anybody wants to join us, please do come along. We also offer visibility opportunities, so anybody who wants to get published, if you can write, if you have stories to tell, yeah, please do come talk to us. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, you can find me in Modern Women Bali. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being patient with our Bali style timing.
Ooh, thank you so much, goddesses. So next up, we have our amazing local female entrepreneurs. Oh, there you are. Who are going to present some of their businesses. And I would just like to invite Jennifer Yan on the stage, if that's okay. Please, warm welcome. Jenny has been running fantastic, co-founding fantastic organization, Scale Climate Action here in Bali for longer than a year with Renato and other guys, and running some fantastic events on the green tech social. Please come to the stage here, and yeah, I'm gonna get the slide. You can introduce.
Great.
Yourself?
Well, thank you, Prem, and I think Prem did a great job of just like prefacing what we've been doing. So we really believe I think there's been some great themes tonight about community and ecosystem and how we're all connected. Thank you. And how we come together to think about the world and how we interact and transform the world together. So really that's the mindset and the ethos that we have as a group. With Scale Climate Action, we started to support the ecosystem of incredible entrepreneurs and businesses working in sustainability and climate change and impact. And some of the folks that we featured are actually speaking tonight as well, and we really believe in the power of community and collaboration. So next, I'd like to just talk about, thank you for allowing me to birth one of our new babies. Speaking about birth. Tonight's the official global premiere of a new idea that we have, and we really believe in coming to ideas with fresh eyes, with a collaborative approach, and new ways of looking at the world and how we might co-create this world together. So we are actually former tech and business leaders, have worked in these very corporate and often, as we talked about, male-dominated environments. And we really believe there's something new. There's something where we can all come together, and we feel very passionate about bringing new ideas to this space. So this is an idea, a creation, an experience that we're bringing into the world, and we're super excited to share it with you and to collaborate. So one thing that we see in the world is that we're kind of in the position we're in because of probably about 90 companies that have really impacted our climate and affected climate change. So if we look at CO2 or carbon dioxide contribution, it's a small number of very, very powerful people and companies in this world, right? And we know if we're going to create change, we have to do something about this. We can't get around that. That is like a very straightforward thing. So how do we think about this differently? What could we be doing? We know one of the big industries that also contributes to this is the logistics industry. So let's take the biggest, the most challenging problems and put them in front and center and really confront how we might do that. So we know that the logistics industry contributes 24% of global carbon dioxide emissions in the world. So let's face it, let's do something about this. We know it's not only an environmental issue, it's also a health issue. It affects our families, affects the quality of the air, affects the noise in our community in Bali and around the world. And we know this impacts all industries. So again, let's think about this network approach of how we actually impact this industry and then create a network effect and enable this positive impact to be viral. The other beautiful thing, this is not all bad news. This is actually beautiful good news too, because this creates opportunity. And in our world, we like to see this as abundance, right? So abundance, going from 1.3 trillion to $2.9 trillion in less than 10 years, there's abundance here. There's wonderful things that you can do when you actually do the right thing and create positive climate impact and create positive impacts for communities. And we're seeing some glimmers. We know all about glimmers. These are the positive things on the horizon. And how do we lean into those? Our friends at Maersk, one of the largest logistics and shipping companies in the world, has already seen the light. They see it as a differentiator. They see it as essential to the way that they do business and show up in the world. So how do we lean into that? So taking all of that into account and taking in our business and tech backgrounds, being in Bali, we see this incredible transformative place that we are. And so how are we all about transformation? How do we enable some of the biggest challenges in the world to become some of the biggest solutions and the ways forward? What we're creating is an environment where we can bring some of the biggest players in the world that are contributing the most of the negative impact to be the transformative leaders of the future. And we're doing that through turning climate action into a competitive advantage and creating abundance. We're doing that by creating collaboration and best practice sharing, no longer just about competition, about collaboration, about coming together to create something better. And we're doing this at not only a business level, which we know is important, but just as important is the personal transformation piece. How do we as leaders transform ourselves and step up to the challenge and have the skills and experience to be at our best and to lead and imagine a better world forward? It'll be a mix of things, and again, we're going to create this with the Bali community and ensure that we have a lot of transformational experiences in the way that we come together, we collaborate, we create community, we get things done, and we also enable wellness, reflection, and regeneration. And we think this is the perfect place globally to do this work together as a business and as transformative community. So how can you help us scale? 3 things. We would love any recommendations for people you know in the industry. They could be large companies, they could be startups, it could be innovators in the space. We would love your ideas about who needs to be at this forum and this experience to make this happen. We'd love for you to share successful case studies if you work in this industry. We know we're obviously reaching out to folks from around the globe. We'd love to bring the best and brightest minds and the people that are doing the great work and ensuring they have the ability to shine. And finally, come join us. If you work in the shipping and logistics industry or related industries, we would love to have you co-collaborate and bring your ideas forward with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jen. Yeah, thank you so much. If you have any questions or want to connect, please connect to Jan. Yeah. Okay, so the next up, we have a perfect fit. Perfect fit is the Bali's. Well, Feng is gonna explain more, but I don't understand tampons and then things that well, so I think you're gonna take it. Please come here. Yeah.
All right.
You have to
stand here. Yeah. Okay. Selamat malam. Hi. Very nice to meet you. Oh, sorry. Okay. Hi, lovely humans. Very nice to meet you. My name is Tunga Dewi. You can call me Tunga. I'm originally from West Java, but have been living here in Bali for about 7 years. So I call this island as my home. I love to dance, do yoga, and connect with friends, but also at the same time in work, I'm now the CEO and co-founder of Perfect Fit, and we are here to empower women to feel powerful, safe, and connected with their bodies, and it started with a better menstrual health. So why this is a problem? So as someone that's come from West Java, like when I got my first period, my mom was like, oh, this is the pads, like don't question about it and don't talk to anyone. So that's basically my autopilot for about like 20 years. I've never talked about it to like, especially men, like boyfriends, and maybe only to like, you know, female friends that I really, really trust. But also because it's so taboo in our communities, especially also in Indonesia, that you take everything for granted. You never question what product you put on your body. And sadly, like right now there are 80 million of Indonesian women or people with period, I call it, because not all people who menstruate are women. There's also trans and non-binary. So 80 million menstruators who's just like doing autopilot, like putting all the commercial pads on their bodies. And sadly, here in the country, 95% of them contain very harmful chemical like dioxins, phthalates, fragrance, all the perfumes that can increase the potential of irritation, like races and also UTIs. And also in the long term, where we do the study together with modern women, it also can disrupt our hormones. So it makes hormonal imbalance, so you feel powerless. So that's the health side of it. And the environment side of it, as we live closely with nature, especially in this beautiful island of Bali, you swim, you surf, and you see plastic at the same time. And with that, 80 million menstruators, every year 8 billion pads are disposed in the ocean and landfill. So how we make change and make a difference. So Perfect Fit exists to make women thrive, so that we can take our own power and feel balanced and safe and connected. And we believe it should start with a smoother period and better hormone for our health. So we develop the solutions to make women feel powerful, balanced, and connected and safe with their bodies. Started with menstruations, and it's originally started in 2018 as a social project for reusable menstrual pads, but we launched the first Indonesian-made period-proof underwear. So it's a leak-proof underwear that you can, that completely change your body relationship with the single use. So you just wear it like regular underwear, but it can absorb your blood. And we also have reusable pads. And since then, we reached 10,000 women and diverted almost 5 million single-use pads from the landfill. That's our impact. Thank you. And a lot of women came to me like, Tunga, you develop a very good solutions, but my periods always come all of a sudden. Like, can I get your product soon, or can I get it in the office? Like, I don't need to wash it, etc. So we have a great solutions for that. So we just use, we just launched the single-use biodegradable bamboo pads, where you can have it for subscription. You can just go to our website, and you don't have to, you know, like surprise to like get period, and you don't have the product, because you can just get it regularly delivered to your home or to your office or wherever you choose the location. So it's keeping your skin happy and keep the environmental friendly also, because it's both organic and biodegradable. So the ask for tonight is 3 things. The first one, if you're working for a company or an organization, please be an advocate for your companies to have period products at your place, because it's human rights and it's really powerful for supporting us to feel safe and connected at work. The second, if you have shop or you know anyone who have retailers, please also advocate us to put there, so have more options for women to feel much more powerful. And if you're period havers or menstruators, go to our website, get the subscription, because we believe that you deserve the best, period. Thank you.
Thank you so much for beautiful pitch and for everything that you do, Jenga, and to Perfect Fit. Please follow up with her. Fantastic. Okay, so we have next up, it's Tara. I'm sure you can post your stories a bit later, but this is for you. Welcome.
Which one? This one or this one?
This one.
Oh, you fast forwarded already. That's me. Hey, y'all.
Stand behind you.
Okay. You guys have been sitting for a really long time. And I mucked up, and I sent the 32-page slide show instead of the 10 that I made for the event. But we'll fast forward. We'll go fast. I run this company, Terra. It's the name means earth in Latin, which means nothing in Indonesian. So actually, when I started the company, that was a really important go-to-market move for our product, because it couldn't actually mean something in Indonesian, because you didn't really want to clash the cultures, right? We wanted something that sort of stood out and was different. What's interesting about this technology is it's a new product in a new market. So if we fast forward to me, I'm an accidental entrepreneur. So I spent the majority of my life in the humanitarian field, working in Central and South America most of my life, most of my life, and then came to Asia on a sabbatical. It was meant to be a 1-year sabbatical, and it turned into a 2-year sabbatical. And as we do, we land in Bali, and then we never leave. And so I landed here. But what happened is I knew this technology, having lived and worked in Central and South America. And when I came to Bali, I saw first and foremost the plastic that was all over the beaches. And this was before COVID. So it was a really pinnacle time for Bali. If you look at the statistics from 2018, 2019, it was when Bali was starting to grow up. And development was becoming really, really mainstream. And then we had COVID and everything stopped. And now if you've come to Bali after COVID, you've seen that that's the new normal. But before that, it wasn't like that. So my first sort of shock, I guess, if you will, in Indonesia was the plastic waste. But I saw an opportunity for a product in a market that didn't have something that substituted plastic. So to me, there was a distinct commercial market for something other than plastic water bottles. And if you know anything about Indonesia, it's the 2nd largest marine plastic polluter in the world at 70 tons a year. Secondarily, having worked in maybe this is the right presentation. Having worked in the social sector for most of my career, I knew that most people in the world don't have access to water. We take it for granted where we come from. We can turn on the tap, maybe in your country, or you can afford plastic and water bottles. But here, most families are boiling. And so I started to research the social need in Indonesia and realized that a quarter of Indonesian families don't actually even have safe drinking water in their home. They're boiling, which means it's often not long enough to kill dangerous bacteria. They can't buy those plastic water bottles, so the majority of the population is paying for plastic water bottles. And then there's a subsection of the population that's drinking out of traditional vessels like this one on the bottom. So it was really important for me to understand this demographic, again, because new technology, new market, I needed to know that people were going to drink out of a terracotta pot, which is what you see on the left, which is made out of clay. It looks like a garden pot. But it turns out that Indonesians have been drinking out of ceramics for thousands of years. So I actually went back to Guatemala and studied with the filter factory that invented this technology 40 years ago. I had spent much of my career living and working in that space and had access to that company. And I came back here and I started my own business. Bootstrapped it, pure accidental entrepreneur, but really saw again that distinct commercial and social opportunity. How does the filter work? Well, it's a terracotta pot, looks like a garden pot, literally, but it uses 3 natural materials, that's it. These filters were designed to be able to be made anywhere in the world where there was clay. Terracotta clay, which probably is in every place you've ever been. So the idea is that you can make these for anybody at the top or the bottom of the economic pyramid in any place in the world with the resources that you have. So we use 3 things: clay, activated carbon, and colloidal silver. And you can put any water through that top except seawater. River water, rainwater, tap water, well water. So whatever you're using in your home to shower in, which is really gross because trust me, my hair looks like this all the time, you can put it through that filter and it will be safe to drink. Revolutionary. But the filter, it only costs a few dollars. And each of those filters will last 2 years. And so what happened is in 40 years of this technology, there were countries all over the world using this as a foundation. What I said is, how about I make a fancy version of this and we sell it in the commercial market, right? There's a commercial need, there's plastic water bottles. What if I sell it for $300? It's exactly the same filter. The container's different, but you want something beautiful in your home. You want something locally made that's natural, that's solving environmental and social problems. We have a solution for you. And how about that filter then subsidizes filters for families who don't have access to water? And they get the exact same filter in their home for 2 years of safe drinking water. Pretty easy business model. It's taken me about 4.5 years to grow this, though. Our factory is here in Bali. Feel free to contact me and come by anytime. And in 4.5 years, we are classic startup, and it has been full startup grind the whole time. Everywhere where you see yellow has been commercial sales, good for business, right? Everywhere you see blue has been social projects, and we do those through our own donations. We also work with CSR partners, so big corporations who donate back to their farmers, their farmer communities, or low-income areas of Indonesia that are hot spots. So we're partnered with like United Nations and USAID, World Health Organization. And then what you see in the gray is my long-term vision for the company. So again, these filters were invented in a small little country of Guatemala with 18 million people. Indonesia has 274 million people. My market potential here, having the 2 distinct markets, the commercial and the social, is gigantic. Like, I won't be alive by the time I hit half of this. But what's so beautiful about these filters is, again, they're local, they're natural. We can find the materials where we make them. So we can actually have a distributed production model, full circular economy. We're making filters everywhere where people are having environmental and social issues, but also where there's a commercial market. And then we can subsidize those filters where people need them. So we'll be fundraising over the next few years and growing into all of Indonesia and building subsequent filter factories to be able to grow this model. What we're seeing, though, again, for this model to work is that distinct upper market, middle class, and bottom of the pyramid. People at the bottom here really don't actually have safe drinking water. And so what we do is, again, we have those subsidized. And then when we get into the rural villages, it's really hard to find the end user. So we actually have to work with lots of partners to get out there, again, like farmer networks and stuff like that, to actually find the families who need the water. So what we've seen, again, in the last 4.5 years is in Bali, which is 80% of our sales, 50% businesses are buying the product and 50% customers. And I think those of you who are entrepreneurs might really appreciate that business model. One thing we love about the business networks is again, they subsidize filters for the bottom of the pyramid. So they might buy mini filters for their place of business, filters for the back of the kitchen, front of the house, offsetting gallons, plastic, CO2. Arguably, the filters are healthier because they take out microplastics as well as bacteria and parasites. And then those same businesses will donate back to the community, and those business owners will take filters home to their families and ensure that their staff have filters too, right? So businesses are really good for business. We've hardly spent any marketing to date, so we've been a completely organic, grassroots, word-of-mouth company for the last 4.5 years. Finally, again, proof of concept, Guatemala is selling filters to 40% of the country's population. It's huge, right? So that's kind of my goal, my life goal, if you will. So if I were to fast forward through the 30 slides that I sent this afternoon, one thing I want to show you guys is this impact that we hope to achieve over the next 5 years. So if you just look at this number at the top, that's how many filters I can make in a year. And this is how we'll continue to scale. And then at the bottom, what you see here is our economic, environmental, and social impact. Again, we're a for-profit company. So we're making money, but we're still doing this. We're reducing 22 hours a month for women who don't have to boil water. We're offsetting 2 tons of CO2 for every single filter in a home that was boiling with biomass, so firewood. 78% reduction in infections of women. So this is our #1 killer of women in Indonesia because they're boiling in their home. 44% reduction in children's death. Like, who can say that they're doing that, right? But again, we're eliminating diarrhea in the home. And then finally, 76% reduction in kids missing school. So then if you look in more detail, you look at, kilograms of wood deforestation and all these things. And this is running a for-profit business with an innovative product that's new to market in a new country. So really exciting stuff. Then there's a manufacturing impact, which is better than plastic water bottles.
Thank you so much, Christine, for everything that you're doing and such a brilliant presentation. Please connect with her and try Terra Water. Okay, we're gonna go now next to, let's see. Okay, do we have Shanaz from Internship Award still in the audience? No? Okay. So I'd like to invite to the stage Mariana, who is a tea master, my favorite tea master. I love her teas, so please take us on a tea journey.
Hi everyone, my name is Mariana and I live in Bali so far more than 4 years, and most of this journey I'm drinking tea. And I'm super passionate about tea because it's really changing life, not just it changed my life, it changing life of people who join in tea. I guess Gil can confirm, right Gil? He's became super passionate and now he's establishing very innovative idea how to connect all tea drinkers. And by the way, I would call the tea is a beverage of peace and a beverage of consciousness. Because for many years it was used in Asian culture to deepen meditative practices. And my business, business, because it's more about passion and the true deep connection with yourself. That's what tea about. And about deep connection with the people who come in to your tea ceremonies. So I'm creating events with live music and tea in different setups. I'm also serving tea in different setups like birthday parties, community gatherings, networkings, business meetings, and also I'm teaching people how to serve tea and how to make tea the part of their daily practice. Because tea can really add more deep layers into your meditative practice. And it's very easy. You just need a tea, you just need a teapot, your teacup, and you basically can start. But there's so much layers, so much flavors, and so much deepness what tea can bring into your life. So if you want to know more, you just can find me on Instagram, like A Song of Eternal Love, and we can start this tea journey together.
Thank you, Marianne, so much. What we would like to do now to close off and introduce you to this networking tea by ChatTea. We would like to bring some tea here on the table, so Marianne can serve some, and Gil can share some things and insights and prompts with you, so we can connect and do energizers with the tea. Would you like to take us on, Gil? Please come here and
yes, so this is new. So initially, we were planning to take you all downstairs and have tea down there, but then they wanted to change, and I like that. We need to be in flow. Before I talk, can I ask everyone to stand up? Nice. I know you've been wanting to do that. It's just like a little bit of this. Come on, a little bit of movement. It's like the end of the day. So I like to do this. Can you do this for 1 minute? This is like better than 3 Red Bulls. No, not everyone's doing it. Like, no, why is he making me jump? Just it's really good to shake things up, because right now you're still thinking about what someone said on the stage. Wow, you're jumping high. Yes, you can hold that like that if you want to. Yes, you could do that. I'm not looking. All right. So now we're going to look around the room. No, don't sit down. I didn't say sit down. Yeah, stay. So they're going to set a little bit of tea up here. Tea ceremonies for a lot of people, it's very formal. It's too overly structured. It's too much. We took it from that level and what we love learning from that, where tea ceremonies can be, and we took it to understanding that tea is also a joke in the world. Twining tea bag in your tea is not tea. Yeah, that's not tea. That is like horrible what is in there. It's not really tea. And we wanted to meet somewhere in the middle where we could still enjoy high quality tea. We could still enjoy it in some sort of a ceremonial way. We could still enjoy it and respect the culture, but especially we get to enjoy it to connect with people. How many people in this room know who they wish to meet with in the next 3 days? Do you have an idea in your head? Who do you wish to meet with in the next 3 days? You could say Elon Musk. You could say a billionaire. You could say my future husband. Or you could be more realistic and say, I'd love to meet a mentor that would give me an hour of their time and talk to me about marketing strategies. I'd love to meet another woman who's an entrepreneur who's going through similar challenges to my business and spend some time having tea with her. You could say, I wish I could meet someone who has more financial literacy and financial trainings than I do and have a nice, easy conversation about finance and my business with them. I wish I can meet a man or a woman. You could be more specific. Today, there's high chances it might be a woman. But you could say, I'd love to meet this kind of a person today. Can I ask you right now, for just 1 moment, close your eyes. Yeah, we're going to take it to a mood level. Think right now, who do you wish to meet tonight? Because you don't know 98% of people in the room. You really don't. You have no idea. 2 seats next to you. Keep your eyes closed. 2 seats next to you. There's someone exactly that you need. She's an ideal co-founder. She's an incredible mentor. She's not 100 steps ahead of you. She's exactly 3 steps ahead of you in a department in your company. And that's how I've managed to go through 20 successful failures. Always looking through, who are those people that could take me to the next few steps? They're here. You got to say to yourself right now, who is this person? Describe this person in your head right now as best as you can. Come on, just try, and this is not easy. It's a good practice, I promise. You have it? Look around the room. Let's just say you have at least 1, maybe 2. Look around the room. Don't say anything. Look around the room. Understand that statistically speaking, there's extremely high chances the person that you need to meet is in this room. If you said, I want to meet a husband, that's not clear enough, and it's also not short-term because we don't meet a life partner. We meet a stranger, we then show interest, we then give them our time, then there's something that gets developed. You could say, who did you want to meet? Who did you want to meet?
Interesting partners to talk.
Go a little bit more detail. Who do you want to meet?
I would love to meet a woman that helps me to understand what the real challenges for her personally are.
Okay? You want to hear someone else's problem. Nice. Don't come to a booth.
I would love to meet other entrepreneurial women.
That's way too broad.
Okay.
Look, everyone. like, the universe does a lot for us, okay? Whether you're religious or not, God at the universe, the best gift I believe we get every single day is time. And the second best gift we give is people. It's the best kind of gift you can have. You have time, you have 1,440 minutes every single day, you have people. Can you just give a little bit more about the entrepreneurial woman you want to give that?
Live in Bali and are here for long term so that we can form a friendship or connection.
How many people live in Bali? Look around the room. Okay. How many are your women? Okay. Keep your hands up. How many of you want to live here for a while? Okay. You're not going to meet 12 women right now. Make it a little bit more specific. I want to show you magic. Who has specific? Come on. Give it to me. You right here. Yes.
I would like to meet someone who struggled with procrastination in a business sense and can help me like share some wisdom, because it's literally the only problem I have in life. It is. It is. It is.
No, I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. It's good. I have a lot of problems. It's good.
So, be honest. How many of you had problems with procrastination? Okay. Everyone, if you're not raising your hand, you're full of shit. You think I'm so good, but you're not at level 8. You're at level 2. You just think you're at level 8.
We all have the same problems. So pretty much, who has a problem with procrastination? Be honest. Okay. Look around the room. Wait. Don't talk to them. Wait. Who has found some hacks for different time management in their life? Talk to them. I can give. No, but now, no, wait, no. Now they are heroes. Now they are heroes who have something to share. Before they were another sad person. Yeah, I also have bigger problems than you do. You know? Who knows who they want to meet? Come on. I just want to show you a little bit more magic. Yes.
Someone who's marketed something in the payments and banking industry.
Okay, how many people have done that?
Someone who's marketed anything in finance industry. There's always one or two in the room. Really? No one? Why? I don't. They're just shy. They're just shy.
To the panel people, they're downstairs. Oh, I am going to meet the person who's going to spark the next chapter in a brand new career for me.
Can you give us more specific about a passion or an industry that you would love to attract someone that would offer you this opportunity? Not anyone.
You don't want to work in the, what industries, top 2 industries that would really love to get an opportunity, a job opportunity in?
Design and too broad? Yeah, that's okay. I just finished up my some kind of environmental sustainability space.
All right, we got it. So most of us don't know how to answer this because most of us don't practice. In the morning, you wake up. Who do I wish the universe would bring to my life today? Do that one stretch. Who do I wish the universe to bring to my life today? You keep on saying Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk, every day, and it doesn't happen. You're not being specific enough, or you're not allowing the universe to work its magic. Elon Musk doesn't wish to meet you today. But many, many, many others do. Statistically speaking, there's 100,000 people not far from you who wish to meet you today. Can you tell me who you want to meet?
Someone who has been deep down, and how do they push it to be successful or to take the life fully.
So how many of you have been or still are on what's called the hero's journey? Yeah, that's why I like tea. We take you on a tea journey. By the way, I'm buying time for you guys so you could serve tea. You got it. Nice, beautiful. We're going to come to you in 30 seconds. So you want someone who's been on the hero's journey, gone down and come back up. So I did it 20 times. Who has done it at least once? Okay, twice. Keep your hands up. Twice. Like up and down. Up. Oh my, no money, no rent. Oh my, and then everything is okay next week. And you forgot about that it happened. Yeah. Who had it like 5 times? Like 5 successful failures in business, or like 5 relationships in life that didn't work out. Bad boyfriends, bad girlfriends, whatever, exes. It's okay. Look, this is heroes. They got the good stuff to share with you. All you got to do is be curious. Ask them good questions. You guys want to say why you're here? Tell me.
Yeah, I was hiding myself. There's my two. I want to meet someone or anyone who's looking to start in the first steps into the entrepreneur world and just given up their corporate career. It's just the first start. So to learn from them how it is and collaborate ideas to work on.
What's your name? Again? Snake. Wow, that's like, snake. Snake is snow in French. So, right, it is. I think it is. I need to think about that one. I forget languages. But something you just said really sparked something. You said that you're looking for that person. If you would have added why, you would have had a lot of people suddenly want to take a step towards you. Because you're telling us, actually, I'm interested in leaving the corporate world and looking to enter the entrepreneurial sector for the first time in my life, and I'm looking for someone that would give me a couple of points. It's very simple. Will give me confidence to do that. How many people have done that? Look, higher, be proud. You left the corporate world. Look around. Don't be crossing your arms right now all serious. Open your hands, give them a hug. Do you like hugs? These people do as well. Give them a hug. No, but so this is the magic that tea is going to bring to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a lot of tea here. You can come. You could stay around here if you want. You can come back here and sit around here, wherever you want. Use the space. This table is optional. You could sit on the sofa. But this is what I want to challenge you with. In 10 minutes, I'm going to come back on this. For the next 10 minutes, see if you can ask people, who do you wish to meet in the next few days and why? And if they tell you the real why, they're actually telling you what they do for a living. It's another way of asking someone, what do you do? Which is the worst question you can ask people. What are you currently focused on, or what motivates you, what inspires you to get up in the morning, or why are you still in Bali, or what do you do every single day to be able to afford everything you want to do? Ask them whatever you want to ask them. Don't ask them, what do you do? I like to ask them, why are you here today? What were you hoping to meet, or who are you hoping to meet today? Get answers from them. They'll give you answers that you need to hear, and really find out who they want to meet in the next few days and why, and see if maybe, once you start moving around the room, you'll say, hold on, what's your name? Shan. So I'm like, wow, Shan, I just spoke to this guy Dorian. It's exactly who you asked you want to meet. Let me just quickly introduce you. I just want to try to take 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, how long you could stay here, and allow some tea magic, which I believe in, and allow this energy that's been held in this room to see if you can find people that you need to meet with right now, because tomorrow if you have coffee or tea with them, you'll be able to take massive steps in your life and in your business. That's how I've managed to grow everything in my life. I believe in co-elevation. Yeah, and if you're looking for business opportunities, job opportunities, you want tea to be in your world, or you love personal development like Tony Robbins, come and have tea with me any day. I'll come to you. I need very strong, very honest, very strong women around me. I love women in management around, leaders around. Yes, please, thank you. We're here as men to support you. So we're going to have a lot of men serving tea everywhere. Today we have an angel serving. So please come slowly, and have a cup of tea. Look around the room and see if you want to talk to someone because you looked at them before, and ask them, why are you here today, or who do you wish to meet in the near future and why? And if you're stuck and you're not sure what to do, come and see me. I'll help you the next step, please. Use this time to network to find these people that you really meant to meet, and I promise you they're here in the room. Yeah, thank you for your attention. Thank you, Prem. I don't know, Prem is downstairs having tea. He's like, that's it, I'm done. Let Gail do this thing. Do you want to have fun with some tea and some fun networking? Yeah, is that okay? Yes, you all look so serious. Yeah, sorry, I'm not in Ubud anymore. No, I was not. We're in Bali time. Hello, this is Bali time. So come have a little bit of tea. Please don't leave before you spoke to a couple of people. And the best thing you could do is if you do exchange information with anyone, and I could tell you best ways of exchanging, I'm not going to talk about that now. Please send them tomorrow a 1-minute voice message. That is one of the best networking hacks I can give you. I've built algorithms from the most amazing entrepreneurs in the world. 1 minute. If you send that person a minute the next day, you have the likelihood of you building anything ever with them grows exponentially compared to just saying, maybe I'll follow up with them a few days later. And 1 minute is nothing because you have 1,440 minutes during the day. And you sleep for about 500 because you're all so beautiful, so you like your beauty sleep, I get it. It's 500. Then you have 1,000 minutes. Give people a minute. And if you meet 3 people, send them each a minute. And if you want to guarantee a relationship being built because someone said they want friends, 1 minute for 10 days. Guarantee, I can put money on it, you are building a friendship. I've written a lot about this. Come and have tea. Thank you for listening to me. In about 15 minutes, I'll come back and I'll mix you up in a different way. Thank you, beautiful people. No. This is not for me. This is for, clap for yourselves. Yes. Clap for yourselves. Yes. Clap for yourself. You guys are not even online anymore. I don't even know why I was. Yes, Mariana, tell them what kind of tea are they having?
Yes, so that was my idea. Actually, today we're gonna have an amazing luxury to drink tea. It's a shine puer, it's mean raw puer, from the tea tree which grows on the planet over the 1,000 years. And this one is even more special because this one is a gift from my beloved tea master. There recently was an amazing tea party with more than 1,000 people drinking tea together. And this is celebration cake, which keep the energy of love, because the topic of our tea festival was love is the source of everything. It's never disappeared in universe. So this tea accept the codes of purest tea plant, like never been modified, codes, genetic, pure, pure, pure. It also has the codes of love, unconditional, universal love, which being charged in this amazing tea ceremony with more than 1,000 people drinking tea together, and amazing Taoist monk who is my tea master. Welcome. Try.
Thank you. Come closer if you want to grab a cup of tea. Take your time. Come, Mariana is going to serve you. Does Mariana have a helper? Where's the other tea angel? Tea angel number 2.
I would also like to add something else. If you like to add some little drops to your tea, these are really, really nice from Pharma Etica, our friend Andrews. He's having amazing immunity boosters with functional mushrooms like lion's mane, cordyceps, reishi, chaga, that are really good to balance our nervous system, to get us in a state of calm when we grind too much, you know, in our startups. So please help yourself. You can try it underneath the tongue. My favorite is lion's mane mushroom. It's really going to support you with your neuroplasticity.
Shibari, mushrooms. What kind of community is this?
Yeah.
This is great. Wow, I like you guys so much. All right, tea away, please. Tee up. And who wants to tee up? Someone come and talk to me. I'm the introvert in the room, so you know it's not easy to walk up to you. And walk up to each other.
And thank you all so much for coming again. And thank you to all the speakers, all the partners. Thank you for the Lighthouse, for hosting us. Thank you, everything. See you next month.
Thank you, Prem. Big hands of applause for Prem. Yes.
Check us out on startupgrind.com/Bali. Love you all.